American Builder starts right now.
Okay, now we're getting closer to bringing the bathroom pods in by SurePods. So what they do is they have a representative come by the site, we walk it and make sure everything's okay. So they send Bill, and let's just give you a little bit of a hint. It doesn't go that great. There's a few things, right? The pods are this big, so your openings can't be this big, they've got to be this big. So in my mind, this is impossible. There's walls everywhere, there's drainage pipes, there's plumbing, there's... Really? Is this how it works?
This is normal. This is par for the course, Brian. I mean, we're bringing in roughly an 8 by 8 by 8 cube, right?
Yep.
So we just have to look at clearance all the way through. Things like that, normal material storage on a floor, we'll just have to move those out of the way. Make sure it's got clear access with cabling.
Yep.
And there may be a few of these pipes here that are in the way where we won't be able to roll our pallet jacks by.
Well, it's a 3,000-pound piece of furniture. That's what I call
Exactly.
it.
It's a 3,000-pound armoire.
Yep. As far as I can see, this is the problem floor because everything is started. You know what I mean?
Everything is started. You've got all these pipes through the slab already. When you get to the upper floors, usually it's a lot cleaner.
Hopefully it's easier,
Hopefully
right?
it's, yeah.
Cool. So I'm the 3,000-pound armoire.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all right now. I'm sailing.
Yeah, we're in a bay here, bay. I think we're in all these clear.
Houston, we got a problem.
This one looks like a challenge. I think the framer came out 1 or 2 wall segments too far, so we're going to have to take those back to have an access through here.
What about all this crap below you?
Yeah, because of that, this, and this might have to come up.
This gets cut down.
Take the wall back 4 feet.
As we get up to the next floor, Bill takes a look at the next beam and he turns completely green. Then I see him turn around and walk away from me, and he jumps on the phone. Ugh, this is awful. We only have 8 feet, and then it's on a pallet. Then it's on a pallet, so we lose 4 or 5 inches right there. This could be a showstopper. Even with the insulation, it's just 8. That made him walk away from me. So walking away was never good. So downstairs we thought the plumbing problem and some of the stuff we had to move, and then we came upstairs to see the easy part, and immediately, it even looks a little low. Immediately he goes into a panic, and he's walking so far away so we can't hear him, probably not talking that nice to somebody. Should have been a lawyer. Oh, that's right, I'm too dumb to be a lawyer.
Our assembly is 8 foot tall.
So you're on a 4-inch pallet, 5-inch
No,
pallet.
our assembly with no pallet, with nothing, is 8 foot tall. Subfloor, ceiling joists.
Is every floor like this? Because they're framing like nuts.
Let's go up and look.
The biggest problem right now is the single point entranceway that we keep talking about. So what we figured out to do, before I pod my pants here, is roll the pod in, put the jacks on, lift it up, pull the pallet out, bring it all the way down to as low as you possibly can, and then it barely just fits in. So every single pod at this point has to be, I don't know, it has to be touched 3 or 4 times more, at least 3 times more than it should. They're not just rolling in on pallet jacks and going down there. No, they can only fit into this hole, and we got to go through that whole rigmarole. I've had enough with pods right now. We got to figure it out. Coming up next, let's fireproof this place because the steel beams need some pretty heavy coatings. So the fireproofing is, technically steel doesn't melt, but with a hot fire, it does get weaker and it starts to collapse, right? It's not really melting like steel melts, like wax melts. That's not such a thing. And buildings falling down, 101 is never good. So we're fireproofing. Did you know in 1900 BC, if you built a structure and it collapsed, you could legally kill the architect? Think about it. Why did they change that? I know at least 4 architects I'd like to kill. Maybe we shouldn't use that. So it looks like a bunch of steel and concrete. Wrong. Look at this. This is the hallway right here, right? There's a door, there's a door. These are your rooms on each side. Makes sense now. Plumbing all over the place. The steel right now has to be fireproofed. That's why we're in this Sopranos look or Dexter look right now. Wrap the building, get it heated, spray the fireproofing. different thickness steel, different thicknesses of spray. You got to know what you're doing. There's numbers to tell what needs to be done. Everything gets a full wrap. Just in case there's a fire, steel doesn't burn, but it melts and down goes the building. So there's a lot of work to do. This is first. Wrap it up. This is the fireproofing. This is the bags behind us, right? Even though the guy's up there 2 or 3 floors above, his job is to keep that line full. What's it actually made of?
Cement, fiberglass, all kinds of good stuff.
Not asbestos anymore, I take it.
No. I hope not.
You're gonna find out in about 20 years if it is asbestos. So he watches the water go in, he mixes 2 bags, he pours it into that hopper down below, and that feeds it through that pump right there, up as many floors. I don't know, he's 2 or 3 floors above us right now. So it's as simple as that. Add water, 2 bags, stop mixing. What's that for? 'Cause it's gonna get dusty?
Yeah, it's all in there.
It's really not that scientific, is it?
I mean, it's only when something goes wrong.
Yeah, right.
You gotta know, you know?
Right. How many gallons per double mix?
Doing it at like 17.5, 17.7. This water takes forever.
Doesn't seem like that great of pressure all of a sudden.
Exactly.
Yeah, all of a sudden it doesn't seem like it's flying by.
Yeah, I do that 1,000 times every day.
That's it.
Do it all over again.
Fireproofing 101. 2 bags, a bunch of water, and you. There's 1,000 steps to a building, right? So the raw steel below us is now being floor by floor by floor fireproofed. Back in the day it was asbestos. It's not asbestos anymore, but it takes a ton of work. You need the right temperature. You need to heat a building. It's got to be, I think, around 50 degrees for 24 hours or better. Today they're just flying at it. They've got half the building top, half the building open. It's plenty warm enough. And he just goes back and forth and puts on layer after layer after layer. So you can see the before and after. If there ever was a huge fire, it is a sprinklered building, but by code it still has, all the steel has to be fireproof. And there's a lot of steel to fireproof. How many layers does he put on, or how thick does he have to put it on?
2 hours, so.
2 hours.
It depends on the size of the beam.
I see him spray up on top of that, and that's because you're ensuring to get to the top of the beam, right?
So full cover.
That's. I was trying to figure out why you were filling in every single pocket, but that's, otherwise you'd never know that you got the top of the beam, right? I'm not sure how fast it sets up, but you can see right here it's dry. Oh geez. I'm in trouble. You can see here it's not dry. I'm gonna get the guy to, they're watching me. I'm gonna get out of the way. Coming up next, another American builder classic. It's the Nantucket Mill, an old paper mill. Better known in my mind still to this day as the oldest haunted house in the world. It was like spooky as shit, no lie. So one fun fact about the mill, just recycling the bricks alone, the GC made $1 million. So call it 50 cents a piece and you'll see the size of the mill. So get your popcorn, get ready. It's another American builder classic. Hey, it's Brian Gary. Welcome to the American Builder. I'm in Holyoke, Massachusetts. Behind me is a huge old paper mill that we're taking down. We're taking it down in a green way. We're saving the brick, we're saving the wood. We're actually turning the wood into some hardwood flooring, and that's pretty cool. Saving the roof, everything that we can save gets saved. Not much of this goes to a dumpster. Let's go inside, take a look around. There's some 70-foot beams. There's all sorts of stuff happening here. So let's grab a few guys and see how to take down a mill. Hey John, how's it going?
Ryan.
So
Meet
you're,
you.
you're the
How are
guy
you?
that tears down the mills.
That's us.
Tears them down though and doesn't throw them away anymore. Tears them down and we recycle everything.
That's correct. What's happening in the demolition business these days is the reclamation of the various products and the various materials that you see in mills like this. The antique brick, the wood, of course, metal is also refabricated and recycled.
The wood is something that I would have never figured just a few years ago. Wood's wood, throw it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The brick, I understand that. What are you getting for used brick nowadays? What's that going back out the door for? Because you've got millions in this mill.
Yeah,
so.
this mill will have about 1.5 million, 2 million brick. Our company packs 30 million brick a year.
Really?
This pallet of brick here has 600 brick. It is shrink wrapped, weighs about 2,300 to 2,500 pounds. Our primary market for antique used brick is really in the South, although there is interest in the Northeast. In Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, whole homes are being built out of this brick, used primarily as a face brick or a facade. These guys are going to clean all the mortar off of the brick, throw it off to the side, restack it on that pallet so that there's 600 on a pallet. Each guy here can clean about 4 to 5 pallets a day, meaning anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 brick a day cleaned by one individual guy. What Mike's going to do is he's going to reach with his bucket and he's going to bring some brick down. At the same time, he's going to lower one of the beams and also the decking, which will eventually be used for flooring. We'll do that with all the beams that are up there. We'll then de-nail them, band them, get them ready to be loaded on trucks. This is floor decking. This came from that building that you watched Mike take down a few minutes ago. This is 12 inches by 22 feet long by 2.5 inches thick. Longleaf lumber will take this material and cut it into flooring. If you look closely at the grain here, you'll see that this is heart pine, all about 100 to 130 years old, and the grain is very, very tight. So the rings grew very close together, makes for very strong wood. Also, you'll notice that there's a lot of resin in this product, which gives it excellent color, makes it very appealing.
Am I this far behind? When did wood become such a big deal?
The value of this wood is that it can be made into flooring, which is then used by the building industry for people that are interested in an antique look. It has value because trees like this that were used to make this kind of flooring no longer exist.
We don't have them anymore.
We don't have them anymore.
Moving on here, right? Now we're doing some underground electrical. We use my buddies from East Coast Electrical Contractors out of Westford, Mass. Their foreman, Steve. Steve is the calmest guy you've ever want to meet, no matter what happens, but he hates to be on TV. Steve's last name is DeHate. Steve DeHate hates TV. Let's grab him and get this thing started. Part of a project this size is there's miles of underground utilities to do, and this is the guy that does it all.
Yep.
What are we doing today?
We're going to try and snake some lines for the primaries. Come up to this switchgear manhole here. And we have to mule tape them and then...
Don't say mule tape like we know what that is. You know what I mean?
It's 2,500 pound braided line. And we have to pull a mandrel through, which cleans out any debris in the pipe and just make sure that there's no breaks in it.
Let's do it. We going in the manhole to start this day? Following you, buddy.
Oh, great.
Let's go. It's full of water.
There's like an inch of water in there.
It's
Look at that. No, it's like an inch. See? Yeah.
really, seriously?
It's a loose inch.
Your job sucks.
I'm unwrapping it now. What? This pipe's full to the brim with water.
Great story. Just on the snaking. Usually you can just vac the lines through, but we're having a problem because of all the ice and water that got built up in them. So now we have to resort to this. And this is as far as I can go.
Well, he said he doesn't have it yet?
No, this is too long of a run to snake.
Okay.
I gotta meet him somewhere in the middle.
You're kidding.
No, there's not enough tensile strength on this snake for it to push all the way
Oh,
through.
you can't push it anymore because it's just so far.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Hit a block. Full snake's basically in there.
Now what? Because you're not there.
I'm gonna mark him, pull him out, run him down the road, see how far we got, see if we're close to each other.
So do you know where this one is at all right now? Like how far at all?
No.
That sort of stinks.
I just put a piece of tape around it and then I can run it out or down the road and that'll tell me the end of it.
Oh, you put a piece of tape here,
Yep.
pull the whole thing out. You're pretty smart. So, pulled his out, ran it down as far as we could. The other guy did the same thing on his end, and just to see if they overlapped each other, but it's a lot of work to pull one, and they gotta pull two today, and there's hundreds of these on this site. I gotta come up with a smarter way to do this. Yeah, I guess you gotta know where it is underground too.
You do, and it's all GPS.
Okay.
So if we do have a problem where it's broken or it's blocked, they can come out with the GPS, put points down.
Oh, this could be snapped somewhere down here underneath
Yeah.
us. Well, that would stink.
I guess I didn't know I'd be in a manhole with Steve DeHate. So what he's doing is he's got conduits that the power company now wants to run lines through. It's definitely in the middle of winter, and he thinks that water got in somewhere between here and way over there, right? So he's trying to send a snake through to his guy the other way, then trying to figure out what's blocking it. Is it frozen? Did some junk get in it? So in the manhole, trying to get things through, and yeah, we do run into a problem, you'll see.
So about 25, 30 feet apart.
Okay. But you're not guaranteed it's a break. It could be frozen too, right? You don't really know.
Could be either, yeah. Nothing's guaranteed.
So is there any other way to find out whether there's a clog or not? Or you really do have to dig?
Probably gonna have to dig.
Oh.
We're gonna have to dig up the street. I'm like, we're gonna what? Yeah. Looks like the street's gonna have to be dug up.
Why does that seem so bad to me and not to you? You're like,
'Cause I gotta fix it.
I got the road in here, we just probably have to dig.
So DeHate figures out we got a problem. He just says off the top of his head, we need a compressor. Where do you get a compressor? He leaves, he goes somewhere on the site, it's not his, and he comes back with a compressor. So we're gonna start to blow the lines through, and hopefully this works. Here's the deal. We're trying to hook up the pole lights, and everything is a rush, and this is just one thing on a sunny day, even though it's cold, that has to be done today.
We're gonna fire up this big air compressor and try and blow some jet lines through those pipes, or at least blow the water out of them.
Describe jet line, because you just have that, so you have nothing that's going down there 100 feet, right? So is it just blow?
I do. I have a string that I'm gonna attach to a bag, and we're gonna try and blow that through after.
Really?
Yep.
Just by air and that little wand right there and pushing it through.
Yeah.
Fire it up. Cool. Sounds like he has a plan.
So, grab the jet line.
Not always a good plan, but he has a plan.
No, you want to stand right above it, looking down. That's probably your best bet.
So you put full pressure on using that cap right there to blow through. One of you is going to be in a world of trouble with water, whether it's that end or it hits it and comes back to you.
Right, gotta be me.
You thinking it's you?
I'm hoping not, but you know,
Murphy's Law.
in my experiences.
Any last words, Steve?
What was that?
Any last words?
I kind of already just soaked myself, so nothing could be worse now.
Pull the ladder out of the way.
Something's blocking it. Love it. I'm gonna keep trying. God hates a coward.
on. Soup, you have air coming out on the other side?
Oh yeah, dude.
Alright, is there a lot of water shooting out?
Well, it kind of looks like Niagara Falls.
Being the apprentice that he is, and he's tremendous, instead of just digging, he came up with the next idea to take a compressor and blow it out. So I love him for, he tries everything. I mean, someday he'll leave this company for sure and start his own. So this guy down here should have a ton of water running towards him at this point. Steve's like a little MacGyver in a way. Pretty much the problem right there. So it might have been frozen or just too much water. Problem solved. Now you can pull your wires. We're good to go. Okay, so it was just frozen. And how about when it blows back on Steve? He gets covered in water and you hear this little
Love it.
anyone else would have went home for the day. He's just starting his day, right? Now he can run the lines through. It's all good. It's the end of the show. Don't forget it. You want to see me or more about me, go to AmericanBuilderUSA.com. You want to see if our show is in your neighborhood, go to ToughTV.com. But don't forget, it streams on your computer anywhere you want in the world. We'll see you next time.